I think God calls all of us to fill different roles at different times, and I think that he wanted Donald Trump to become president, and that's why he's there.
Even if he had to bring the feds in to do it, he's going to clean out the drugs and the crime and the thugs. It takes a white man to do it, and it's the white man that they hate. They hate this white man, and he's the one that's going to save them. Remind me of Jesus Christ.
This makes no sense to people, especially when you consider that Trump is not just the most irreligious president in modern history, that his entire worldview makes a mockery of core Christian values like humility and empathy and care for the poor. That this individual, who couldn't even name a single verse in the Bible when asked to do so, and yet received a record number of votes by white evangelicals. Jim Wallace, the head of the Sojourners, a liberal evangelical group, said it best when he said that these white evangelicals, quote, acted more white than they did evangelical. And I think he's right.
One foreign correspondent who attended the 1934 rally wrote that some of those present looked on Hitler as a messiah. This is a church procession in Munster in 1934. And the flags displayed, with the swastika replaced by the crucifix, are those of the Deutsche Christen movement, the Nazi-supporting branch of the Protestant Church. One leading member of the Deutsche Christen movement referred to Adolf Hitler as the embodiment of the eternal will of God. Millions of other Christians also supported Hitler. At a conference of nurses attached to the Protestant Church in 1933, one sister called Hitler Germany's savior from Bolshevism and Marxism.
Trump is the white savior.
This man was indeed chosen by God.
The president accepted the support of conservative commentator and conspiracy theorist Wayne Allen Root, who portrayed Mr. Trump in messianic terms, tweeting, "Thank you to Wayne Allen Root for the very nice words. President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world. And the Jewish people in Israel love him like he's the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God."
Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state, and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel.
Biblical prophecy. Why bring that in? People are making fun of her, saying, I can't believe she believes that nonsense. I got news for you. 25% of this country believes that absolute nonsense. And I'm going to outline what that nonsense is for you in a second. And they voted for Donald Trump in overwhelming numbers, and now he controls the greatest military ever built.
Israel's at the center of everything. You know, the U.S. is not the center of Bible prophecy.
And we want the end times. We want Armageddon. So to them, the war is not the bug, it's the feature. We have a huge percentage of this country driving towards their desired goal of a war that kills almost everyone on the planet.
God declaring, this is going to be the land that I touch, and this is going to be the people that I use. The people of Israel, which were connected to a land, as God decreed in Genesis chapter 12, are God's epic plan for the restoration of mankind.
Understand that in their sick scenarios, almost everyone on the planet dies. They look forward to Armageddon, and Jesus kills almost everybody. Except, of course, evangelical Christians, because Jesus can't get enough of Missouri.
And the Jewish people are key to a plan, to a redemptive plan that Satan does not want to allow to happen.
This is the madness that elected officials believe, a lot of people in our media believe, and drive the United States government. These are the most dangerous people on earth.
Least we can do is recognize their capital. If you got a problem with Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, take it up with God.
Wow, okay.
If God doesn't do a Tower of Babel and bless us by destroying us, Satan will pervert us, and we will be the darkest nation. We're going to make Hitler look like rookies. Look like rookies. If we're not destroyed first.
Donald Trump did something that no other president, not even any Republican president courting the evangelical vote ever did. He very clearly and very explicitly said that if they voted for him, that he would give them, quote, their power back.
Mussolini knew he had to win the hearts and minds of the Italian people, the vast majority of whom were Catholic. In 1929, Mussolini and the Vatican signed the Lateran Pacts, giving the Church virtually everything it wanted, including its own sovereign state, the Vatican City.
The Vatican had committed itself to fascism for the foreseeable future. It had no confidence in the capacity of democracy to protect Italy against communism.
The Pope proclaimed that Mussolini was sent from divine providence.
In the span of a single election cycle, white evangelicals have gone from being the group in America that is most likely to say that a politician's morality matters to the group that is now least likely to say that. A gigantic group of Americans who are fundamentally overturning their core theological beliefs that public morality matters. And the only explanation that I have for it is that Donald Trump has turned a large swath of white evangelical Christianity into a cult, into a religious cult, a dangerous religious cult. All the signs are there. Donald Trump functions, as he himself admitted when he said offhandedly that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose voters. He has become a kind of a prophetic divine character.
In his book, God and Donald Trump, Steve shares the reasons why he got behind this unlikely candidate and explores the possibility of a divine intervention involved in his election.
Pat Robertson, the head of the 700 Club, a very influential white evangelical, literally said that God took him in a dream up to heaven and he saw Donald Trump sitting at the right hand of God. You know who actually sits at the right hand of God, according to evangelicals? Jesus Christ. In other words, Pat Robertson is saying that Donald Trump is essentially Jesus Christ. In fact, that's not that weird. His own evangelical advisor, a pastor by the name of Jeffers, said not too long ago that he would prefer Donald Trump as a candidate over someone who, quote, expresses the values of Jesus. So what we are seeing now is that these white evangelicals, not all of them, but a fundamental core of them, have essentially latched on to Donald Trump as almost a salvific character. They don't just follow him, they don't just agree with him, they almost worship him.
That cult of masculinity, that war against modernism, that war against truth, that obsession with apocalyptic violence as a purging agent or cleansing agent, to make the world pure and usher in the utopia. And I think when you look closely at the ideology of the radical Christian right, those so-called Christians in the United States who want to create a Christian state, in generic terms, they're fascist. But it is an ideological belief system. These are not traditional evangelicals. They're not traditional fundamentalists who have always called on followers to remove themselves from the contaminants of secular society, to shun political power. Evangelical leaders like Billy Graham always talked about not getting too close to power, and he himself was used and burned by Richard Nixon. This is a dangerous and radical mutation. It is about creating, using the iconography and language of Christianity to create an authoritarian, or I think arguably a fascist state.
Should we do the pledge? I swear I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
Trump said he could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
No, I don't think so.
He did say that.
No, he didn't. No.
It's on tape.
No, I don't believe it. No, that's fake.
I swear to God, you can watch her.
News, fake news.